It's just too hot.
Taco Bell's hella open. Lowercase h. That's it. Falling pencils don't prove gravity, bro.
Sorry, no excuse.
So guys, I had to start the stream again because I don't know what happened to the thing there. I don't know if you could hear me, but I wasn't getting any chat. Wasn't showing me that there was anyone in chat or anyone watching. Thanks for the thumbs up, you guys are quick. On.
You know one of them,
Someone's been like, look.
Yeah, you can't prove you live on a globe.
All of them
You can believe it. Your religion says you live on a globe. NASA. Funny how it affects some people more than others. Or rather that the dissonance is stronger for others. Yeah. Thank you, Jen. gaining wisdom, for gaining and thank you. Gaining wisdom, appreciate that. We need support at the moment more than you know. So that's helpful. Borrow some money to get the petrol. Take some pictures of my stuff, bro. I don't mind if you disagree. Let's spread the word. Flat earthers are here saying that they're being lied to. Found myself a nice little spot here. Yeah, I appreciate that. And Matt, man, if you're listening, hi. Gravity is a belief. Gravity is a theory. You can't walk underneath a ball. Water will fall off a ball. Water will fall off a ball. You don't play football on a ball. You play football on a level pitch. We lived on a ball. Who lives underneath it? Or does the theory of relativity keep you on top? Everybody on top. I used to believe like you boys. You can't believe in gravity. Just because a pencil falls on the floor does not mean water is going to stick to the outside of a globe. That's nonsense. It cannot be proven. Cannot be proven. Sorry to say, but the government is here to lie to you. Government is here to lie to you. The sea is level. There's one sea level. One sea level on Earth. We live on a topographical plane. NASA faked the moon landings. NASA faked the moon landings and they faked the International Space Station in a swimming pool. You know, Tim Peake never went to space. Tim Peake was on harnesses when he did that little circus trick for you on Channel 4. Just because you see it on TV does not make it real. Sandra Bullock also went to space in a movie called Gravity. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Gravity is a hoax. Things are dense and they float or rise depending on their buoyancy of the medium they're in. You cannot prove the Earth is spinning. You cannot prove the Earth is spinning. You have to believe it like a religion. People who believe in Darwinian evolution, people who believe in Einsteinian gravity, the warping and bending of time and space, have been brainwashed. We have all been brainwashed by the government of the world to make us believe that man can land on a rock or a light. But let me tell you, Canterbury, rocks don't float. Rocks will not float unless they're in a bed of mercury. The medium that they're in will determine whether they go up or whether they go down. Tim Peake never went into outer space. The International Space Station is made in a swimming pool. The Red Hot Chili Peppers were trying to tell you when they said, space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. It's all made for TV, and it's all made to keep you in the small mind of somebody who believes you cannot be the master of your own destiny. I'm here today, Canterbury, to tell you that you've been lied to from cradle to grave. The vacuum of space is a lie. We cannot go into a vacuum. Man has never been into a vacuum chamber on Earth, let alone a vacuum chamber in so-called outer space. The only space that is around us is the space that exists. But a vacuum, that's poppycock. Poppycock, I tell you. They faked the moon landings and they are faking the International Space Station and they are faking Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a government agent. Elon Musk is the CIA. Tim Peake is a deceiver. And he wants you to believe that we can travel to outer space. There's no such thing as outer space. Outer space is made up by cartoons and science fiction. Hollywood. It's gotten really quiet around town. Water will always seek and find its level. Hello. Water will always seek and find level. That's why we use the term sea level. That's why we build using water. That's why we use the spirit level. Because we cannot bend the surface of water. We cannot bend water. Water will find the shape of its container, but the surface will be level. You turn your water bottle upside down, the air will go to the top, but the surface will be level. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. Rocks don't float. The moon is not a rock, it's a light, just like Genesis will tell you. Anyone who believes in the Bible and believes in Darwinian evolution is deceived. Anyone who reads the Bible and believes that God created a ball that we stand on the outside of is deceived. In nature we find that all fruit must be contained within the skin, not on the outside of the skin. If we're spinning 1,000 miles an hour, which direction are we spinning? Can you point that direction out to me? You believe we're spinning, you believe we're curving, but we can't measure these two things, these two phenomena. Canterbury, I'm here to tell you that you have been deceived. The drink in your glass will stay level unless you move it. I'm here in Canterbury to tell people that the earth is flat. Earth is flat, not a spinning stone. You cannot live on a spinning stone. You cannot play football on a ball. You can only play football on a flat pitch. Just because you think you see a ship going over the horizon does not mean we live on a ball. Earth is not a spinning space rock. Outer space, the vacuum of space, has been created to trick you. People lost faith in religion, so they gave them NASA. They gave them aliens. Who of you believes that aliens are coming? It's a lie. A lion. A lion. We are God's creation. We are the top of the pyramid, but we have given away our authority to deceiving governments and deceiving entities like Vatican, etc. There is no conclusive evidence or proof that we live on a spinning stone and that Africa is on the side of the ball and that planes are flying upside down as we speak. The International Space Station is faked in a swimming pool. No man has ever been in a vacuum chamber in a spacesuit. Why? Ask yourself why. Satellites are simply satelloons. Most technology, most wireless technology, or most data is done or travels on undersea cable. Satellites in space, go Google it. You'll find only cartoons. You'll only find cartoons. Stampede. Hey JT. I fly out tomorrow to California to run a half Ironman. It's gonna rock when I get back out. Yeah. Okay, man. Yeah. Hey Joshua. Nice to see you, brother. Hope you guys are all well up there. I'm in Canterbury today. Canterbury today, and I think, weather permitting, Brighton at the end of the week. Today is Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. Earth is not a spinning rock in space, friends. We've been lied to. God is within you. You are the source, the creator, incarnated in this form. They want us at war with each other. They want us to think we are merely evolved apes, that your great-grandparents were monkeys. That's nonsense. Take a flyer. You're young enough to have the brainwash cleaned out of your head. You've only been brainwashed for 15 years, so take my flyer. Keep an open mind, it's only information. Do you know that if you live on a globe, there's a formula for the curvature of that globe? Have you ever been taught that formula? No, I bet you haven't. How much curvature should there be on a ball of 24,900 miles? Is it 24,904? It's been a while since I looked at that. Rocks don't float, friends. Rocks do not float. Gas giants do not coalesce under their own weight. If you release gas, that gas will flood the lift or the room that you're in very quickly. It will not coalesce into a football that you can play with. We'll get a call with you soon. In Turkey, ah, nice one. Turkey is about a quarter of the way under the globe, isn't it? Earth is not a spinning space rock, friends. We've been lied to about who we are and where we are. Have a nice day, or not. Ah, it's a conundrum. Can you work it out? I would like to put this one up on the wall, but I didn't have anywhere to hang it. Hi, can I give you a flyer?
No,
Some information? You know we don't live on a spinning rock in space. That's all a lie. Man never went and landed on the moon, by the way. You know they went to the moon 6 times but didn't bother to take a photograph of the Earth for the first 5 missions? Why? Because they hadn't developed Photoshop. Why? Because they didn't want people questioning it. Truth is, we do not live on a spinning rock. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. Earth is unmoving, not spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. If we were spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, we would be ripped off of the surface of this Earth. Earth is not a spinning rock. Earth is flat. Earth is flat. Take a flyer, brother. Earth is flat. Gravity is a hoax. What's the formula for curvature, genius? What's the formula for curvature on the globe? Do you know it? No, you don't. No, you don't. Water is always going to find its level. We say sea level for the reason that water will always find level. Water always finds level. Fact. You can imagine there's curvature over water because you think you see a ship going over the curve. But the truth is, we can bring that ship back into view with a powerful camera. That ship never went over the curve, it just went outside of your visible range. But if you were on the beach and then went up on the mountain, you would see that ship again, surprise, surprise. Why? Because your angle of resolution on that image has improved. So, yeah, I had to stop the previous stream, guys, because for some reason it seemed to blow out. Yeah, go well in the half marathon. Nice to see you. Hey, Dr. Larson. Hey, brother. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Guys, the Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. We've been lied to. Space travel is a hoax. It's all done by Hollywood. Space may be the final frontier, but it's made in a Hollywood basement. NASA t-shirt over there. NASA is a hoax. NASA is lying about space travel. But if you trust government enough, I can't help you. Space is fake. We've never landed on the moon. Space is fake. We cannot live in a pressure system next to a vacuum. That's the second law of thermodynamics, demands containment of your Coca-Cola or your deodorant can. Break the deodorant can and there will be equalization of pressure. There's my plot, friends. Good day, gentlemen. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Have a good day.
I'm having a lovely day, thanks. It's about time the sun came out, eh? Rocks do not float. Rocks do not float. Take some information. It won't burn, won't hurt.
No, thank you.
You're welcome. Rocks don't float, friends. Density and buoyancy is all you need to have things go up or down. Take two. It's one of that. All right, man. Keep an open mind. You're young enough to know that you've been lied to by your teachers. They didn't know that. They were lied to as well. Space is fake. Have a nice day. Space is fake. Space travel is fake. We cannot leave the system that we live in. It's enclosed by the Creator, by God, if you like. Hello. Take a flyer, guys. You speak good English. This is just information on who we are, where we are. Take one of these, young lady, because this electromagnetic stuff is fascinating.
Thank you.
Cool. You know, water's always level. So, did you get one? Okay. Give one of these to your friends.
Thanks.
All right. All right. It's getting busy in town. This is what I like to see. My battery pack is attached. It's 22 in the chat. That's a good number. Friends, we've been lied to you about space. Earth is flat.
Hello.
Hello. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. Hi. How you doing? Have a nice day. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Of course you can.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah. All right. You're live on YouTube. We're live on YouTube. Say hello to your family and friends. I'm sure they won't get to watch this, but you never know. Earth is not a spinning rock, my friends. We've been lied to about where we live. You cannot live on the outside of a ball. You cannot walk underneath a ball, and water will not flow up the Nile River for thousands of miles. Take a flyer.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
God is within each of us. Yeah, sure. Where are you guys from? What country? France. Okay. Have a nice day. Bonjour. Bonjour, as they say in France. Bonjour. I don't know a lot of French, but I know that the Earth is not a spinning rock. I know that for sure. Take some information, free your mind. We are in a mind prison. There might be more Earth on, there might be more continents on this Earth, but water is always level. That's something we know for sure.
Viens visiter un endroit que tu connais pas, merci.
Hello, have a nice day. Hello.
No, sorry.
Bonjour, have a nice day.
Hello.
Take a flyer, my friend. Earth is not a spinning space ball. We've been lied to about where we live. Water is always level, and we cannot prove we're spinning. And we cannot prove that gravity will hold water to the underside of a ball. There's no experiment that will show gravity holds water to a ball. Take a flyer. Some information. Free your mind. You are in a mind prison that would have you believe that you evolved from mates. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. Cool, man. Flyers are going out of my hand faster than I expected. That's good. Earth is not a spinning rock. Take a flyer. Earth is not a spinning ball. Earth is flat. Take that. Cool, man.
Merci.
Merci. Yeah. Bonjour. Have a nice day.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Hello.
All right. Take one. All right. Have a flyer.
Thank you.
Yeah. You can have one too.
Can I have
Yeah. Hello. Hi,
Can I
guys.
have it? Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Take one of those and one of those.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. That's very good.
Fine. Good.
God is good.
Hello.
Yeah.
How are
Hello.
you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you? Have a nice day, guys. I can get some more.
You're live in
Live on
YouTube.
YouTube, yes.
Yeah.
My YouTube is on there. You can find it on there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye. Goodbye.
Bye bye. Au revoir. Au revoir. So there you go. Yeah, I am grateful for the coffees that was bought for us shortly ago. I just was saying thank you very much for that, and Matt Mann for recently throwing us a coffee. You got some questions, good. I can tell You seem like a very educated young man.
I wish.
And the more educated you are, the harder that this is to take, because if you were taught in 6, 7 years old that this is the science, this is what you must believe, and if you're really good at that, you go, yeah, that's true, And I used to believe all of the stuff about living on a globe, and then I found this formula. This is spherical trigonometry for a sphere the size of our Earth with a 3,959 mile radius. And according to that, there should be so much curvature that if you stand on a beach and look up the coast for 10 miles, you should not be able to see anything. It should already be hidden by the curvature of the globe.
Yeah.
At 10 miles, according to this maths, which is the mainstream science, says that the Earth is going to curve by 3,200 inches over 10 miles.
Okay.
That's a lot of curvature. It's like 60 feet or something. I forget now the maths. It's been a while, but all I'm saying is I looked at the numbers and I was like, okay, there's no curvature obvious to me. What is obvious is that the ship does seem to go away when you watch it over the beach, right?
Yeah.
But we can take a powerful camera and bring that ship that's gone 5-10 minutes ago and bring that ship all of it back into view.
Yeah.
And so it's actually it's an artifact of our weak eyes, or the way our eyes work. When we're standing on the beach, we're very low to the object, and as we know, a train going away from the station is going to get smaller as it goes away. So the ship is getting smaller, but we're also losing it from the bottom up. Same as if you put a camera on a tennis court or any long surface.
Yeah.
You put a camera on that and get a friend to walk away, you'll lose their feet, then their knees, then their hips, and so on. That's how angle of resolution works.
Okay.
So I believed in the moon landings, by the way. I believed in the International Space Station, the Space Shuttle. I believed all of those things until I found that formula, and I was like, oh, I need to go and check this for myself. And I realized that actually I've been tricked into thinking that I'm seeing curvature, when in fact it's simply things just disappear off into the distance.
Okay.
Canterbury is a good example of where you can see the cathedral spires first as you approach the town, because it's the highest thing.
Yeah.
The tallest thing, like the crow's nest on a ship, is there because the taller you are, the further you can see. You go up on a mountain, you can see 30, 40, 50 miles on a clear day.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I got some flyers here. Did you? I gave you one.
Yeah, you do.
I'll give you a flyer. I didn't give you the one on electromagnetics. Take that
right,
one.
okay,
Because
thanks.
I really believe that we are not on a plate. We are inside sort of electromagnetic toroidal system, or torus system. And each of us is a miniature torus within a magnificently large torus. So the whole of the universe, when we look out into the stars and Hubble and all that stuff, they may only be looking tens of thousands of miles, not light years away, when they're looking at the points of energy or light that we see in the sky.
Yeah.
So when we look at Mars, for example, with a P1000 camera, we see that it does look red, but it's just doing this kind of like repeating light show.
Yeah.
And so when you study what cymatics is, you'll realize that could be the explanation for it, is that it's a frequency inside a medium. So there's an experiment that's mainstream, it's called the star in a jar, where they can fire a frequency into water and they can get a star to illuminate. And we think that this is what's happening, is that there's frequencies or energies in our system that are linked to you directly. Mars, Venus, Mercury, these things are linked to you. You have in your own body the same solar system, if you like. And these things are just frequencies or perturbations in the ether or the atmosphere or the something that's above us. When you try and study where exactly is the point that our atmosphere ends and space or the vacuum of space begins, you find that it's actually roughly about 100 kilometers. They call it the Kármán line. And actually, no one can say for sure this is where it is. But thermodynamics, which is laws of thermodynamics, there's 3 of them. But the second law says that if you break the system, if you want containment, or if you want a pressure system, you have to contain it, like a deodorant can. You must contain it inside of that system. If you puncture the can, there's going to be an equalization from high to low pressure immediately. When you break the soda pop open, that equalization that you hear, that's thermodynamics in action. So if we have no fixed barrier other than the theory of gravity that's holding our atmosphere down, then I'd say there has to be a roof. Now, I used to snigger at the Bible, but actually the Bible and all ancient cultures used to say that we live inside of a terrarium or inside of a snow globe.
Yeah.
Like an Eden project. You probably know about the Eden project. So.
Yeah.
in Cornwall. So it's like we live inside of some structure, inside of a big room, if you like, a big hall, but it's enclosed, and we can't get out of it. Man has never left it, but they like to pretend or get us to believe that they're actually out there doing things that are wondrous, incredible, and so on.
Yeah.
But it's all designed, I believe, to diminish you. That you are meant to be, you are created by whatever the creator is, whatever you believe in. If you believe in any of that, I didn't. I was an atheist, by the way, until I found myself, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it has been created. Big Bang is a lie, created by the Catholics. Evolution is a lie, created by Darwin, and Darwin was funded by the same people who run the world today.
Yeah.
You know, so they've come up with these ideas that we came from apes rather than we were intentionally created perfect as we are. And that the God or the creator, source, most high, whatever, had an intention to breathe life into you so that you could come and have a beautiful experience. Maybe a soul experience, maybe like a growing experience. But I now don't think that death is like the end of the story for any of us. I think death is just like a stepping stone into something else or back to something that we come from. And this is all, I've been 8 years now on this knowledge. So I've just been searching because I was trying to understand what's the purpose of life, what's the meaning, what are we doing here, why is this world so at war with each other? We're just tax slaves. And none of that makes sense. Now it makes a whole lot of sense because it's almost like either a test to kind of see if I can break you down and hold your soul back, or it's being usurped by, like the Bible people say, that it's been usurped by Satan. And this is now Satan's world, and whatever that is, wants to ruin God's intention, break God's creation. And that's what I see in the world, is that, I'm 55 and I've been at war myself in a country called Angola, and all I've seen is warfare and hatred and enmity between this land and that land and these people and that. But if we're all the emissaries of God, then we should be in a loving relationship with each other and a nurturing, supportive relationship with each other rather than breaking down. And I mean, when it comes to ladies, we're females, more and less women are wanting to even be a mother, which is the most divine, beautiful thing that could be bestowed upon, a mother elephant or female elephant would think twice about that. They'd be like, I'm going to have babies and I'm going to raise them and I'm going to take care of them, nurture them and get them strong and make sure that they're beautiful animals. Now I meet a lot of young people going, I'm not going to bother with that, and we treat each other between the genders. We treat each other pretty badly, and so on. So all of this is written by this same system that would demean whatever the creation is. I say to people, I think that God is inside you. Like whatever God is, it's actually within each of us. So I said that on my flyer. God is within you. Yeah. And I believe that truly. But it's not like a sky daddy with a white beard kind of God. It's something much more magnificent than I can describe with my language, my words. Yeah. It's beautiful, it's loving, and so on. I had the advantage of doing ayahuasca 8 years ago, DMT, which really was like a near-death experience, and I got to see that there is a higher me, and there is beyond that, there's a God or something else. But I was an atheist in the 10 minutes before I did the DMT. Okay. So I hope that's useful.
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
Have a good life, and this is the thing, is that if you need to be in the world but not of the world. So to kind of travel through your life knowing how important you are and knowing that you're carrying a spark of something divine, you want to try and nurture that more than you would sort of drink it away and wreck it, and become like broken by the system and end up, I'm not suggesting you will, but people end up broken by this game, not realizing who they are and what the light that they carry. The spark of God is in you.
Sorry, guys, we're going to go.
Okay. Well,
sorry.
No, that's cool.
Thank you.
My name's Dave, and my YouTube channel is on.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
See that? Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. We've been lied to about who we are and where we are. Gravity is a theory. Just because you can drop a pencil on the floor, because you've taken it out of equilibrium, does not mean that the Nile River is going to run up the side of a ball. The Nile River is 3,000 miles long and apparently runs up the side of a globe. This can't be substantiated in physics. We're apparently spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Again, this cannot be substantiated with physics. We can't measure it. We only believe it. That's why I say gravity is a religion. Globalism is a religion. Oh. It works most on some people. So, oh, hey, just taking. Nice to see you. I just be right there with you, brother. Enjoy Turkey. Getting some sun, eh? Earth is not a spinning space rock. We've been lied to. We can't prove that we're spinning. And we can't show that water will cling to the underside of a ball. Water will fall off a ball. It needs to be contained. Water must be contained. Once you break that container, it will spill and run to its lowest point, and there it will find level. We call it sea level. There's only one sea level on Earth. Only one sea level. Earth is not a spinning space ball, not a spinning rock. NASA is designed as a religion. Belief in NASA is a religion. Trains can only handle 3 degrees of slope. Is that right, sir? Is that right? They can't go up the side of a globe. Ah, but it appears flat wherever you are, and everybody's on the top of the globe. Not true. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. The ancients knew. But modern people, they believe in this religion called gravity. Don't believe in gravity. I've got a mate who sings a song like that. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock, bro. Take a flyer. Thanks, man. Earth is not a spinning rock. We do not live on a spinning rock. La terra plata. La terra plana. Earth is flat. Earth is flat. I think I nearly got the French right there. Earth is flat, not a spinning rock. Gravity is a hoax. Gravity is simply the density inside of a buoyant environment. Earth is flat. God is within you. Take a flyer. Don't be deceived. The government has you in their thrall. NASA is a government psyop. NASA is a government psychological operation to steal your mind and to steal your soul and to get you to go to war with your brother in God. The reason why mankind is in such a mess, why it believes in global warming and climate change, is because they think they live on a scary spinning space ball. Space has been faked. Would you like a flyer, son?
Cheers, mate.
We never went to the moon, and the International Space Station is faked in a swimming pool in Dallas. No man has ever been in a vacuum chamber. No man has ever been in a vacuum chamber in a spacesuit. Why? Because they cannot make a suit that will contain itself in a vacuum. Spacewalks are faked in a swimming pool with blue screen technology. Did you know that? Spacewalks are faked in a swimming pool in Dallas with blue screen technology. They are lying about outer space. Tim Peake never went to the International Space Station. He is an actor, a deceiver of the highest order. Water always finds level. Water will not fall around a globe. You've been lied to about space. You have been lied to about the vacuum of space. Free your mind from the deception that has been laid on us for generations. I've got my globe with me. Hey guys, thanks for the likes, the thumbs up, and if anyone shared this, I appreciate that. And if anyone is able to throw something in the tin, PayPal, Patreon, buy me a coffee. I am in that situation of, let's say, need. You know how polarizing this is. People do not like it. And, yeah. Hi, man.
I can't believe you actually believe that.
Oh, I don't believe it. I know it. I know that water's level, man. I can't believe that people still believe in this day and age that we can walk underneath a ball. Underneath the ball, and that water is going to cling to that
The
ball.
last time I heard about that was 1660s.
1660s. I met a lady who was, well, I didn't meet her personally, but she was at school 100 years ago, just 95 years ago, and she said, we were taught flat earth 95 years ago in school. And actually, it's only been in the last sort of since the moon landings that the debate was sealed, and to say, oh well, look, we've been to the moon, it must be a rock, we can land on it, and we've taken a photograph of Earth from the moon. And you know that they went to the moon 6 times but forgot to take a photo of the Earth for the first 5 missions. Isn't that surprising? Isn't that right? Isn't that surprising that they didn't? If you and I went to the Grand Canyon, man, the first thing we do is send a photo back of the Grand Canyon, not wait for 5 trips or 6 trips before we think, oh, let's take a picture of this wonderful canyon.
Yeah, but they're not going to the moon for tourism properly.
Tourism.
Yeah,
don't
that's
you
not,
think
they're
that
not going to the
proving?
moon.
Don't you think that proving
They
that
already
the
have.
Earth was out there?
Why do they
in
need to
space?
keep doing it? If they've
No,
already
no,
done
I
it.
mean on the first mission, Neil Armstrong.
Yeah.
Why didn't he take a photo of the Earth?
Because he did.
No, he didn't. It was 1972 before they took a photo of the what they call Earthrise.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people who are Photoshop buffs, they've taken that photo into Photoshop and they've been able to show that there's a box around the Earth, that it was actually a layered in thing, that they created that picture. It was never real. And now when I saw this documentary called The Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon,
Yeah.
Neil Armstrong is shown to be the 3 of them that come back from the moon, that first moon landing. They have a press conference, right? And you watch this press conference and the men look guilty. They look dodgy, shaky, their answers don't add up. There's a whole lot of things. So I used to believe in the moon landings. Trust me, 8 years ago I was still a believer. And then I found out that there's a formula for curvature. If you live on a ball like this,
Yeah.
they should be able to measure the curvature of that ball.
They have.
How?
Through maths.
Pardon?
Through maths.
Okay, so you can do a mathematical formula. So there's called
Yeah.
Pythagoras, right? There's a trigonometry. You can say that because you know the radius of the supposed ball is 3,995 miles, right? So you can do maths that does that. But I'm saying science is like you make an observation, you can hypothesize, but then you
Yeah.
must go and measure that, and you can't measure it on a piece of paper. If you say
Yeah.
that there's curvature over the bodies of water, our oceans, which are apparently flat and level,
Well, they're not flat.
well, we say sea level, but let's just say there's curvature. Why wouldn't you go and measure that curvature?
Because what are you going to do to make a tape measure?
No, you can do a number of things, right? Like a laser would be a good example.
Yeah.
So-
So lasers go in a straight line and then they go
Yeah.
over the curvature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would it be a straight line over the curvature?
Because light goes in a straight line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the American military have got a gun called it's called a railgun. The American, you've heard of the railgun? It
Yeah, of
fires
course,
at Mark 15, right?
Yeah.
And they can paint a ship from one ship to the next ship, 18
Does it actually
miles.
work? Because I
18
thought
miles.
railguns were still being made.
Well, they claim that it works, and I've seen a documentary on it.
That was real quick. I didn't know about
But
railguns.
their claim is that they can shoot a ship at 80 miles.
Uh-huh.
Now, if it's going line of sight with a laser, and then the sabot, once it opens, that bullet, that is going straight
Yeah.
at Mark 15.
Yeah.
It's not going over any curve.
Yes, it is. It's still being pulled down by gravity though when it's going over the curve.
Now you're inferring that. See, if I can see something at 80 miles,
Uh-huh.
then that means that it's in my line of sight. You understand
Yeah.
that?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so when the gunner
Yeah.
looks at a ship through
Yep.
a very powerful device
Yeah.
and then can paint it with a laser, his line of sight.
Yeah.
There's no bending of...
It's only 80 miles though, that's why.
Okay, how much curvature should be in 80 miles?
I don't know, but it's
don't.
way to the issue
Yeah,
is
exactly.
yeah.
Well, we were never taught the formula for curvature. Why?
Yeah,
when
because
you
I'm not
apply-
in the university
Okay,
applying
well,
maths.
Let me tell you what they say it is. I don't agree with this, but they say it's 8 inches per mile squared for
Right.
curvature. So over 100 miles, you're talking about 80,000 inches.
Uh-huh.
80,000 inches is many times bigger than any ship or in most buildings and so
Right.
on. So when we look at things like over distance, for example, Lake Michigan, they can see Chicago from 50 miles away over Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
all of the buildings are visible. And even here, if you go down onto the beach and you look up the coast or over to one of the islands or whatever, when the street lights are on at night, you can see all of those street lights.
Yeah.
And that amount of curvature should actually be occulting or occluding those street lights. So no, my evidence to you is that when we go and make observation, we can't see this curvature. People will say to me, and we're taught that at 5 miles a ship is going over the curve. So if a whole ship is over the
Sure, but the thing is, sorry, but I thought it's so because the issue is that. So I always thought that, of course, the reason why we can't see the curvature of the Earth so flat is just because, of course, like the sheer scale. Yeah.
That's what I was taught.
Yeah.
We're all taught that.
Yeah, I know. But okay. I got one last question for you.
Yeah.
Why?
Ah.
Like, why? What do they gain by telling us the world is flat, round?
Control.
Control about what?
Control your mind.
Why?
Well,
what I mean is, out of all the lies they could pick off,
yes,
right? And it's the idea that they went up to space and they looked down a lot of shit. The world is actually flat. And they came back down and they sat around and went, man, we can't tell everyone this because.
Yeah. What if we never? So in my view, we never went to. There is no vacuum of space.
Okay. Not space. Let's say we went up really high and they found that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just say.
What do they gain by?
Let's just say that they didn't always know, and they weren't always. It was only until the 1950s that they had the technology to get high enough to say, we can't get out of here.
Yeah.
Then the theory goes that if they were to tell mankind that, oh, hang on a minute, you don't live on a globe, it would cause major uproar.
Why?
Because people would realize that they've been deceived.
But at the same time, you say that a lot about a lot of things. People would be like, oh, did you know we actually thought this is actually this? And everyone's
are you Muslim?
No.
So you don't believe in Islam then?
No.
Okay. Why do they do that then?
Huh?
Why would they create Islam? You don't believe in it?
What do you mean creating Islam?
Well, it's if you
The
don't
same in any
believe-
religion.
Yeah.
People just don't have answers, and so thousands of years ago, their only option was like, well, it must be some person up above that's controlling everything.
Yeah. But you don't think the Vatican, for example, then might have been trying to control people?
Okay,
through,
yeah, you can.
through
Okay,
religion.
we
frighten people.
I mean, last festival, but yeah, they probably do.
Yeah?
But sorry, go on.
No, they frighten people. In my view, they frighten people with hell and damnation, and all of that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah, of
but as a means of control, because once I frighten you, I can control you. You see, so we say that on a flat Earth, there's possibly more continents that are being hidden. That's one theory. Right?
Yeah.
Can't substantiate that. The other thing is that if it's a flat Earth, it's a created Earth, just like Genesis says, that it's actually been created or designed rather than a Big Bang that just happenstance, Goldilocks zone, and 13 billion years and all that. Rather than, no, this was created, and if it was created, then you were created, not come from monkeys. Okay. You were created. I used to be a Darwinist, by the way, and I believed all the Darwin stuff. But now I say, no, we were created. That God, whatever God is, created this world for us to come and express ourselves as a vibration of God, as an expression of God.
Okay, I see. I definitely prefer that because for one of my major problems with religion has been quite a lot, which is so I'm agnostic, but like I definitely understand why people have religion because the amount of times I've laid there and been panicking, like, why are we here? What are we doing? Something like that. And it gets very, very, very anxiety-inducing. So the idea of being able to go, okay, this is the answer, so you can then carry on with your life. Is like, so I was worried you were going to be like, we're here to worship God, which, in my opinion, I understand you can worship Him, but it's the people who will say that's all we're here for.
I go a little bit deeper than that, because I was 45 before I found this stuff 10 years ago. So I was also looking for what's the purpose, not into religion, not into, yes, I believe the science, and that was my religion, if you like. Now, I say that no, whatever God is inside you. You don't have to worship that.
Yeah. Okay.
We honor each other and we honor perhaps our Creator, but there is no need for fear of it. It's almost like let's just say God created a Disneyland for you to come and play in as God, not to usurp whatever that is, but not to say, oh, I have to get down on bended knee and worship that God.
Which I always thought would give God some sort of it makes him like oh yes, bow down to me. It gives him some sort of like ego, and I'm just like, the whole point of God is that he's not supposed to be like a human. He shouldn't have an ego.
Well, religions like us to do that because
Yeah.
it puts them in the driving seat.
Oh, yeah,
They can tell us, we have to go to if you're a Catholic, you have to go once a week and say, oh, sorry, Father, I've sinned, and
Yeah.
all this sort of stuff. No, the only person you need to speak to is yourself because God is within you.
Yeah.
So you are your own arbiter of
Yeah.
what is right and wrong. And actually, the truth is written on our hearts, and we all know good and from evil. We kind of intrinsically know that. Yes, like I say to people, you can put 10 puppies in a cage and only put 3 puppies worth of food in there every day,
Yeah.
and you will turn those puppies into nasty animals.
Yeah.
One will be dominant, the other one will be frightened
Yeah.
and cowering.
Yeah.
And that's what we see in mankind, is that there's those dominant boardroom bastards who will sell at you poison
Yeah.
to make a buck. And then there's those others who will sit quietly, meekly and say, okay, you tell me what to do next.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, no, you're the master.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying in my flyer here. You are you're either the servant or the master. And religions and government love for you to be the servant rather than realizing, no, hang on, it's me that's the master. If the government wants me to do something, particularly in the last 3 years, it's up to me to decide whether I want to do something.
But then by that logic, couldn't you also say that the people who then decide to just do what they're told and just understand that are people who just don't want to then have to, the same as people who follow religion because they don't want to think about, they don't want to have to try and deal with the existential crisis of what they're here for.
Yeah.
The people who decide to kind of take not the easy way out, but that kind of other route to like keep themselves calm.
Yeah.
Couldn't you say that like obviously it's a major majority that
Yeah.
kind of choose to just be the followers and just
Yeah.
accept what they say,
Yeah.
but like they do that because it keeps them calmer and it makes it able so they can just carry on with what they want to do, like make a family, things like that. So so my kind of argument to you would then be, isn't that then up to them whether or not they want to, just be, cattle who are followed around?
With you, but
what's the problem?
Well, it's just a little bit like an elephant in a zoo, really. An elephant in a zoo will be limited in what the elephant believes it can do.
Yeah,
Whereas
but
an
they also
elephant
live
in
for
the
longer
wild-
though, in the wild.
What?
But an elephant that's in captivity lives for longer than the ones that are in the wild.
Well, that may be true. I hadn't thought about that. That may be true. But I would say that it shouldn't matter what you want to do, but the basis of why you think you should do a thing,
Yeah.
or from whence you come, should be based on truth.
Yeah, but
not on
everyone has
deception.
their own truth.
That's true. But that's why I kind of come back to, that's why I dial back to, like, there's things that we can test as true. Like boiling water is hot. Fire is going to burn you if you put your hand in it. These things we can test to be true. And water, so I went out and tested water and I found that water is level. Okay, maybe not on a teardrop size scale, but once you start to build it up to a 50-meter pool or a lake or whatever, you kind of find that these things are always level. So there are some fundamental, foundational truths. Even though I don't know what's outside of this world that we're in, I know that the water, the sea level of England, I'm now on the east coast. Yesterday, 2 days ago, I was on the east coast over in Western-super-Mare.
Oh, right.
Now I know that I came over the Mendits, got to about 300 meters in height from sea level, and then I came back down 300 meters in height to get to Canterbury.
Yeah.
You see, so there is only one sea level for England, and that same logical extension can be made to Africa or anywhere else on Earth. Is that there is only one sea level around the continents between here and America and so on. There is only one sea level. So once you know that foundational thing is true, then you start to say, okay, so can I test that I'm spinning? Apparently not. Michelson and Morley back in the late 1800s spent 30 years, him and Gale and Morley spent 30 years with an interferometer trying to prove that the Earth was spinning, and they failed to do that. They failed to, and Einstein himself, said, there's no earthbound experiment that can be found to prove that the Earth is spinning.
Yeah.
So then it starts to unravel once you start to pull on these chairs. Once you start to pull on these threads, it starts to unravel the basis of what religion is, what government is, what banking is, what the whole system of education is, and where it comes from, and what it's designed to do. And if you realize that, hang on a minute, whatever the reason for it is, there is a great deception going on, and you start to say, hang on, I would rather, even though we may not know exactly what God is or what our purpose is and so on, I would rather at least be doing my research or trying to find my understanding of my purpose here on the basis or foundation that is solid, rather than the spinning, marble that's out in a dangerous vacuum of space. Other people say that they're going to Werner von Braun, who you might remember.
Braun.
Now, on his tombstone, there's only one inscription. It says Psalms 19:1. Psalms 19:1 says, "The heavens showeth God's handiwork, and the firmament something like that, right? I've got that reference on here. Heavens declare the glory of God, and the heavens and the firmament showeth his handiwork. That's on his tombstone. Now, he wrote a book in the 1940s about a guy called Elon taking mankind to Mars. Now, a guy called
remember hearing
Elon
about
is
that.
now
It's great,
taking mankind to Mars. Is
Yeah.
that a coincidence, or was he actually part of a plan to get mankind to believe in aliens, that there are aliens and that they're coming in here and they're better than us and that we're going to be overrun by them? In fact, a lady who was his personal secretary, there's a video on YouTube of her talking about it. Is it psyop? She says that she said the third deception, they're going to have these wars, but the third deception is going to be the alien invasion. And so I think that there are, whilst you're sort of hoodwinked, then you're going to believe the magician has cut his assistant in half, rather than know that that's actually a stage trick and that never really happened.
Okay.
So it's a word to the wise, really. That's all I'm trying to do is say, hey, man, wake up, because we are being deceived. And we were locked down for 3 years. Ma'am, you're old enough to remember that no time in history has healthy people been locked down against their will. No time, even in the war. I mean, if the bombs were landing, yes, fair enough. But that's very, very different to what's gone on in the last 3 years.
In the 13th century and the 16th century.
You weren't alive in the 13th century, man.
do you know?
I love history. In the 13th century and the 16th century, people... Black Death.
The Black Death, yes.
They were locked down.
But what happened in 2020 was not the Black Death. Let's be honest. The death rate today,
they thought
ma'am,
it was.
there are doctors today
They thought
talking
it
about...
was.
Okay. The death rate today... Well...
No, there is
Ma'am, I used to work for the government, right? So one of the first things I did in early 2020 was to go to the National Statistics, the Office of National Statistics, and pull off 100 years of death data for this country. And in 1968, more people were dying week by week than in 2020. And today, ma'am, there's doctors saying that our death rate is up 20% today than it was 2 years ago. So we should, if that's a pandemic, then we should be in a worse pandemic today.
I won't discuss that with you, but what I will say is that we were warned that the COVID bug was very dangerous, and you see in front of me someone who is suffering from long COVID because I caught it in 2019, and I'm still suffering now because it's damaged my lungs for life. So if I can believe in COVID, which I did, I can believe people tried to protect people like me. Unfortunately, I caught it before the injections were out.
Yeah. Well, I know that's
So
obviously the point really was about locking people down. I think the point was about locking people down. I went around this country, Spain and Portugal and South Africa during the last 3 years, during this lockdown period, and in all of the places I visited, I did not see evidence on the ground of vast numbers of people falling over, and the data now bears that out. So it's wrong.
Our government was wrong. I'm not disagreeing.
They were wrong, yeah.
What I'm saying is,
They were wrong.
they did it for what they thought was a good idea, and people like me weren't spared because I caught it before the injections came out.
I mean, it's worth bearing in
But
mind.
perhaps it did save some people. I don't know,
Yeah.
so I can't discuss that with you because I think they did it for the right reason.
You think they did it for the right reason? You know, people were forced to die alone without their
I
loved
do
ones.
know. I do know.
Mothers were forced to
I have a
give
son-
birth to children
I have a
without their
son-in-law that
husband.
died on his own.
That's dreadful. That's dreadful, and I can't think of anything that I've seen in the last 3 years that would warrant such action, draconian actions.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think when it comes to, I mean, like, COVID did happen, and unfortunately, the reason is the idea of calling it a pandemic and comparing it to other pandemics is because, of course, you can still say 1 million people have died, but in the space of, that was over the course of 2 years just in America alone. And I think the major problem, like, I agree with you that, what you said, like, I think the issue was, so years ago, I thought the government and, full of experts would be able to make intelligent decisions. Unfortunately, I think this is kind of going back to that. So either our government are idiots who make constantly bad decisions and wrong decisions, but they're simultaneously intelligent enough to control the world media and have no leaks getting out. So are they dumb or are they super intelligent?
Yeah.
Or are they pretending to be dumb because they're super intelligent?
And how did 200 countries who are not friends all do the same thing in the same few months of 2020.
Because
if it
pandemic
wasn't-
is a pandemic, and viruses don't care about what religion, culture, ethnic race you are.
But then again, you're making an excuse for it. So South Africa, for example, they had four
It's
cases.
giving a reasonable suggestion.
They had 4 cases in South Africa, and they locked down 60 million people.
Alan's giving a
But
reasonable
that doesn't.
suggestion.
That's not a logic that would have survived. In 2019, I suggested to you that 4 people out of this country had got sick. We're going to all go home and stay home for 3 months. You'd say that's nonsense.
Yeah, that's not 4 people.
people will pay.
Yeah. So of course, this is the other problem: is that it's nothing. You're not locking people down to stop them from dying like that. It's just to prevent people who are healthy, like
I
for
understand
myself,
that, man.
who
I
was a
went through it.
carrier.
I lived
If you
through it.
go
Yes,
out
I understand.
and you walk past somebody that's old in the street and you give them COVID and they
Prove it?
die,
Can you
you're
prove
not
it?
dying.
Can you prove it?
Can you prove anything? Can you prove that?
Well, I can prove that hot water is boiling
Yeah.
water will burn you.
But at the same time, by saying that, then we can only prove things that we are.
Well, let me tell you what would be good proof of that.
Okay, go on.
Because if you're saying that I can walk past someone and make them sick,
Uh-huh.
then there should have been housefuls of people. If there was one in that house, then all of them should have gone down.
Yeah, but at the same time,
That
you get
never
people have
happened.
natural
That
immunity.
never happened, bro. No, you're making excuses. There should have been ambulances, 3 and 4, coming to one house at a time because there were people that were forced to stay together. One of them was unwell, and the rest of them got it too.
Yeah.
That's that logic, an extension of that logic.
Yeah,
But we went to hospitals in England because I was here for the first lockdown.
Yeah.
And we were going to hospitals, and friends of mine were going to hospitals in other parts of the world, and they were empty. They were quiet.
Yeah. Probably because people
Wasn't
that because
Do you
people-
remember, ma'am? Do you remember Tony Blair's lie about weapons of mass destruction? Do you remember that? Governments lie,
Yeah.
and there's a reason for it. It's to railroad us. Religions are deceiving us.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I don't hold any of them in high esteem.
I-
You
I-
do.
yeah.
But do you want my flyer?
Yeah, I'll definitely.
Take my flyer.
Yeah.
And I'll leave you
Yes.
guys with
I'll-
that.
I'll-
Have a nice
yeah.
day.
It's very nice talking to you.
Cheers. Hi, take my flyer. Keep an open mind. You English?
Sorry?
Are you English? Oh, yes.
Yeah. I'm a Christian, so I'm just...
Okay. Well, then you should know that in Genesis, the Bible is very clear that the earth is unmoving, set upon pillars. And God separates the water from the water and creates the sun and the moon on the 4th day. And the sun and the moon are lights, both of them. One for the night and one to rule the day. That's what it says in Genesis. But most people, the Christians, deny that. And they would rather believe that we evolved from apes and that there is a sun that came before the earth and that we are spinning around it. None of that is borne out in the Bible. I read that as a teenager. And I used to tease my preacher about that and say, hey, your Bible's so out of date because science has proven that we live on a spinning ball and the sun came before the earth, which is not what Genesis says. And there's loads of other references in the Bible to apparently 200, I haven't gone through them all, but 200 references to a sort of flat, unmoving, God looks down upon us like grasshoppers and all that sort of stuff. Well, if you look down on a globe, people say, oh, but God's so powerful, he can look underneath the globe at the same time. No, it makes much more sense if everything's on a plate.
I'll take it to my pastor.
Your pastor, please do. Please do. And I know that there are, pastors who have seen this and they know that the earth is flat. I know pilots who have seen this, who say, yes, we're not flying around any curvature. The earth is not spinning. Do you know how fast they say it's spinning right now? Do you know how fast?
This is my housemate.
Hey, fine. Earth is not a spinning rock. Okay, bye-bye. The local inspectors. Really good. Great weather for a flat smack in 2 years. Earth is not a spinning rock, folks. Earth is not a spinning ball. You cannot live on the underside of a ball and you cannot evolve from an ape. Yeah. Well, I'll give you one of my flyers.
Yeah, well, yeah, I follow you on YouTube. So.
You do?
Yeah.
Of course you do, yeah. Yeah, I've got a funny relationship with Canterbury actually because 3 years ago, at the beginning of 2019, you know, we'd just become, sorry, beginning of 2020, it was before the lockdown, we'd just become homeless and we just got off the road tour.
From the beginning when you was in the house. And then you went
Okay,
off.
very well.
Yeah.
Wow, well,
South Africa,
yeah,
so we watched
yeah.
that.
Then that's the challenge. I mean, found us again.
Yeah. Like a lot of people do.
Yeah. Oh well, then no, this is because I met a lady called Mary here in January of 2020, and it was the start of me getting supported by flat earthers, you know, on this crazy, insane journey. You know, obviously, you know, we've moved more than 100 times.
Yeah. Well,
Bounced around.
I've moved a lot of times in my life as well.
Yeah.
Same sort of story.
Yeah.
Keep getting moved up in different places and
Okay.
thinking why.
How long have you been in Canada? Oh,
I was on a boat in London before that. And then before that I was in a house
I worked in Enfield.
and now I'm moving on again.
Okay.
So I don't know where.
Oh,
Yeah, it's happened.
I hope it's
Yeah. I get bored anyway in the place for too long, like 2 years. I'm fed up of seeing that thing and the same thing and getting to know the same people around me. At the same time every day, the same people.
What do you do with your day? Yeah, it's still live. I can put that down. I'm just gonna put this out again. You don't have any today.
Yeah, I have. Then I've got that. If you want to have a coffee.
I ran out of the days. It's me. It is
Yeah, I
my
wasn't expecting
Guys, I'm going to just take a quick intermission. I'm not going to stop this. I'm not going to stop this.
Hello.
Can I give you a flyer? Did I give you a flyer already? Take a flyer. Are you French? Are you from France?
Yes.
Really?
Thank you.
Cool. Have a nice day and have a great life. Don't trust the government, okay? Don't trust the government. Trust your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna just take a little. I've lost my chance again. I'm gonna start swinging.